Hey, G.I. Joe fans, welcome to this week's G.I. Joe toy review, where we are looking at another helicopter pilot in Windmill. Which I do say there's a lot of better updates of this Windmill than to the vintage version, but we'll get into that later on. But before we look at Windmill, we could take a look at our shout-outs of the week, starting at Four Color Fantasies at 80 Wings Lane here in Winchester for all your comic book needs. So definitely check them out. And after you see them, you could go to Comic Mon stores if you're in the North Carolina area, and definitely check them out. And get all that you need from there, and definitely do that. But if you're looking for video games, you can go to 48 South Loudon Street here in Winchester and check out Back to the Media and see what they have to offer. So definitely check them out. And if you need to get your console or PC or laptop fixed, go to Play It Again Games on Middle Row right behind the sheets. So you could definitely see what they have to offer. And if you need toys and collectibles such as G.I. Joe or Time Travelers or so on and so forth, check out Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles. I mean, I got this guy off of eBay, so I give eBay a shout out for this. And whatnot. And definitely check them out. And if you need like puzzles and other kind of stuff, and barnyard animals and stuff for your toddler, you can check out Thinker Toys on 106 South Loudon Street, all within the Walking Mall. So definitely check them out. And if you need some good Jamaican food, you can check out 39 Piccadilly Street, which is the home of Tropical Islands. So you can see Lloyd and his wonderful staff and get some wonderful eats there. So definitely check them out and do what you can there. Get what you can there. So go ahead and definitely check them out. But if you need other stuff such as a tree removed or whatever, you could go ahead and see Mixed Tree Service and get all your tree service needs met. So definitely check them out. And while you're there, check out go and see if you need a bank account, go and check out Bank of Clark or United Bank. Sorry, I was reaching for free snacks. But if you definitely need some a good bank account, go ahead and see go and visit Bank of Clark or United Bank. Or if you need to get some insurance, go and see State Farm or United or Farmers. But if you need games for your vehicle, you can go and see Handy Mart, or you can go and see Sheets and get your gas tank full, and get your made to order food so you can get your belly full at the same time. Definitely check them out. But if you need Let Be that Cobra Island is a proud sponsor of mental health awareness. You can check out Robert C. Brown for any therapy needs. But if Rob's not your cup of tea, at Healing Grace Counseling Services, there's a few other places here in Winchester you can go, or you can call National Counseling Services. But if you're not in the area, go to your closest office. And definitely check them out. And after you go there, but you need psychiatry and you're in the Winchester Front Royal area, you can go to Northwestern Community Services and check them out and see what they have. And or you can go to your closest psychiatrist's office, But if you can't get in to see anybody, you need to talk to somebody like right away. You can get a hold of 741-741 through text message. But if you need to hear a human voice, dial 988 and check out what you can get. But if that doesn't help, you can go to your closest emergency room. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help. So let's go ahead and look at Windmill. I'm going to start with his file card. There's a picture of Windmill right there on his little jetpack helicopter. Helicopter pilot, codename Windmill. File name Roth Edward J. Primary military specialty is attack helicopter pilot. His secondary military specialty is combat search and rescue, CSAR. And his birthplace is Allentown, Pennsylvania. Grade is a 03. And it says Windmill was a flight instructor at the Army Warrant Officer Candidate School in Fort Rucker, and later flew experimental helicopter prototypes at the same facility for the Army Aviation Department. Soon after, he joined the G.I. Joe team and brought the experimental Skystorm cross-ring helicopter with him to pound the forces of Cobra. Now his main objective isn't offensive. It's searching for his teammates in dangerous combat zones. As a highly skilled aviator, he is qualified to use a mini-turbine helipack for rescue operations. Windmill is in charge of reconnaissance, security, aeromedical evacuation, and other aspects of both offensive and defensive combat military support operations. His mission objectives include locating, communicating with, and recovering down or isolated military personnel. This denies enemies a potential source of intelligence and prevents the exploitation of captured combatants through propaganda programs. He also routinely engages in non-combat evacuation operations from designated war zones. And a quote at the bottom says, helicopters don't have ejection seats. If you make a mistake, you ride down with it. Which does show a little bit of what my man Windmill does. But to show his accessories, he's got his figure stand, upraised G.I. Joe logo, Windmill on the front. He does come with this hand pistol, which is a cool looking pistol, and his helipack, which is articulated because it's got the handles that can move up and down, and the propellers we can raise it back, raise it forward, keep it up straight. The propeller spins, whee! And let's take a look at our dude Windmill. And like I said, he does have some differences because his helmet is in black and red this time instead of the awful god ugly vintage version. And his head can rotate, but it's kind of hard with the jacket. But it can rotate the full 360. And he's got his red flight jacket on, which is better than the godforsaken orange one he had. And the lime green shirt is now blue. As the rest of the whole uniform, with the black belt, with the silver buckle. His arm can lift about so high. He can rotate all the way around. Bend at the elbow, rotate at the elbow. As well as the hand can rotate. Right there at the wrist. And he does have the ab crust feature, which is not hindered by the flight jacket. And it gives good spinning circulation. His legs can spread out about so far. You lift his legs so high. Double bends at the knee. As well as bends at the boot. And swivels at the boot. But I think this uniform is a lot better looking than the other one. Than his original vintage version. So he does look a lot better. But the only thing I don't like with him coming with a gun is you could put the gun in one hand and just paint the helicopter on, which is what I'm doing now, as a matter of fact. And see, it'll kind of not work right with the aspect of it, because you would think he'll need to have his hands on both handles to fly this thing. But it's good if he's landing, but he has nowhere to store the gun. You know, so it kind of defeats the purpose with him looking like this. You know, so you still got to keep him wonky looking after the fact. But this is still I would give him, like, for the upgrades due to the updates, which are better than the vintage version that lifts him up to middle tier, but he's stuck at middle tier because of this, where he can't hold the handles, both handles. So it leaves it stuck in the middle tier. But if you have a vintage X-Wing pilot, and these guys do fit into vintage vehicles just as good as the vintage guys do, you know, so you could still have a pilot for your X-Wing. And check out Hooded Cobra Commander for that video, or FormBX257. You know, to take a look at that vehicle so you know what I'm talking about. And definitely check them out. This is a good figure to have in your collection. I'm glad to have them because, you know, I like to have every character. I don't have to necessarily have every version of every character, but I like to have at least one of every character. So I mean, this is a good guy to have in your collection. You know, so definitely get him if you want my opinion. So but that does it for this week's G.I. Joe review. And I'll see you in the next one. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. See you in the next one. Peace.